Welcome to Listening to Chopin While Fighting Nazis, Episode 10. The National Shrine of the Little Flower Basilica in Royal Oak, Michigan is pictured here. My parents were married in this church. The famous radio priest, Father Charles Coughlin, was a parish pastor here from 1925 until 1966. Father Coughlin had millions of radio listeners. He linked Jews to the creation and spread of communism, an ideology he hated. Throughout his career, he told listeners that Jews manipulated the economy, railed against the, quote, international bankers and money changers of the world. To the parish's credit, the history on the website includes this description. Quote, in the turbulent social atmosphere of the 1930s, Father Coughlin's weekly radio program began to move from religious topics and focus on controversial issues of national and international politics and economics. His political involvement and passionate rhetoric gradually became overtly anti-Semitic. After being silenced in 1942 by the Archbishop, Father Coughlin continued to serve as pastor until his retirement in 1966. I remain a practicing Catholic. It's important to confront our history in this truthful manner. My grandfather wrote this book under a pseudonym, Hammer and Sickle over the Capitol. The cover of the book has a large-nosed, black-haired caricature of a Jew. This caricature is drawn on the body of a snake that is coiled around the capital of the U.S. There are hammers and sickles on the snake's body. The foreword to the book states, quote, we must destroy this diabolical conspiracy hatched by agents of social corrosion, end of quote. Later in the book, he writes, quote, for the first time, I noticed the names of the convicted spies, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, Sobel, Gold, Copland, Greenglass, and many, many others. Later in the book, a fictitious Professor Angel claims, quote, one group, the Jews, has refused to assimilate with any nation. They form a nation inside another nation. These groups are the corrosive agents. If one writes history, one must include the good and the bad, the heroic and the despicable. My grandfather died a year before my birth. I never got to ask him why he risked his life and his family members' lives to save his Jewish neighbors when he held these views. My conclusion is that my grandfather was both a savior and a villain.